Well, good morning. Let's go ahead and get started because we have a lot to go through. The most exciting part is Bruce is setting up outside. He has a course set up for us out there, and he's going to be taking us through the last section. So our session is called The Pumper Car, the Perfect Vehicle for Improving Fitness and Fun in an Adapted or General PE Setting. And first of all, I want to thank you for allowing us to talk about a product that we believe a lot in. I want to be the first one to admit that you know a lot more than I do when it comes to adapted PE. And so I want to thank you for letting us be here. Thank you for sharing our story. So when I say the perfect vehicle, I know that's a pretty high bar. And hopefully by the time you have a chance to spend some time with us today, you'll realize that it could be a vehicle that would fit in really well with what you're going to do. And I'm going to be going fairly quickly, going through a lot of information because the best way to get to know it is to write it, try it, and to talk with Bruce. Brief history about the pumper car. We're going to go over that. We're going to talk about a University of Michigan study, and I do have handouts on that we'll give out. We're going to be talking about short bursts of exercise, and then at the end, we're going to be talking about practical applications for the pumper car. So who is this guy and why is he here? I attended the University of Oregon, and I was an All-American in track and field there. I won, back in the 70s, I won the Pac-10 championship. But more importantly, I took therapeutic recreation while I was there, and I got a Bachelor of Science degree. And since that time in 1979, I've done media work and everything, and I just love how things have come full circle, and now I'm again working with therapeutic areas. I can still remember one of the classes that we took. We went out into a field and we had to pick a disability. We either had to put on, become blind or couldn't hear, or couldn't talk, or we had to hop around on one leg, or we had to, put both arms behind our backs and have them strapped. And then we would do different exercises. We would play games and everything like that. And it was really my first exposure to this wonderful world. And then I worked for Nike for 5 years. And I work with a lot of different schools, giving out running shoes to junior highs, high schools, a lot of engagement there with youth. And then I coached track and field for a couple years while I was back in Erie, Pennsylvania, working with youth. Probably the most important thing, though, when it comes to this company is I'm their media director and producer. Several years ago, we went to they had come up with this concept design for this riding toy that pushed and pulled. And so we took it to an elementary school. And we let some kids ride on it during recess, and we set up some obstacles for them, some cones and some different things. We let them ride it on the grass, on the asphalt, and the bottom line was the kids loved it. They were standing in line all day long riding it, and I thought, this is a really unique device. So they came out with the early version that you see here. And they ended up winning the Industrial Designer Society of America IDEA award. And the criteria for that was innovation, benefit to user, responsibility, visual appeal, design research, and design strategy. So it originally came out as a toy, and so we got it into stores, and the challenge was it was actually overbuilt, and it was a little too pricey for parents that were just wanting to buy a big wheel or something like that for $79 that would last maybe 6 or 9 months. So kids were riding it across America. In the meantime, slowly we started getting these letters coming in from different hospitals, and this is one from Duke Children's Hospital. I'm writing to describe the importance of the power pumper as a treatment tool at Lenox Baker Children's Hospital. They are in use daily, Monday through Friday, 8 to 6 p.m., approximately 15 times a day. It provides benefits that other equipment does not, such as stability for children who experience postural instability, a rhythmic timing pattern, and an aerobic workout. Many parents have indicated they would be willing to have one to continue a child's goals as part of a home program. Another one came in, all children's hospitals. I'm writing to tell you how important the power pumper is in the treatment of children at all children's hospital. It is most commonly used for children with these diagnoses: cerebral palsy, muscular dystrophy, sensory motor dysfunction, developmental delay, traumatic brain injury, and brachial plexus injury. We have found that the pumper car is very effective in working with children to increase their strength, endurance, motor planning, use of bilateral upper and lower extremities, and coordination. How many of you had a chance to ride the pumper car? Okay, a couple of them. Okay. Pretty good workout, upper and lower body, I know. Got the heart rate up on a few people. And before I forget, Spirit Systems over here. with Adidas. After we finish this and we transition into riding it, if 7 of you would like to actually have your heart rate monitored, he has 7 of these that we can set up, and you can see the increase with your heart rate as you ride the pumper car. So we'll do that during the transition. Another one that came in, Kennedy Krager Institute. Children are experiencing movement when using the power pumper, and movement leads to learning about space and directionality. And the children learn to plan and move both their arms and legs in a coordinated way. It can be used with most children with varying diagnoses and conditions that affect muscle strength, coordination, endurance, motor planning, visual, spatial, and other sensory concerns. It is a practical, fun, safe, and reinforces therapy. We got some more letters, and we got some more letters, and we got some more letters. And finally, we just were in our office kind of going, what's up with this? We just couldn't really believe it. So along the way, we were introduced to this very unique world that we had really never been involved with, adapted physical education. And I'll be honest and say, I think a few years ago I said adaptive, and I know that was wrong. But so we were introduced to this world of adapted physical education, and they were actually using them, unbeknownst to us again, in their schools in a variety of different ways. So we had a chance to go to 2 different schools, and I'm going to let them tell a little bit about it. And I want you to watch for a girl named Kathy about halfway through, and she's really one of the reasons for some of the passion that we have.
Well, the whole purpose of our program is to get kids involved with large muscle coordination. And so, the benefit of the power pumper to me and how I like to use it is to warm up those large muscle groups. The pulling with the arms and hands, the pushing with the legs, the core strength that's involved with doing that in the midsection. It's a great way for kids to feel large muscle coordination with guidance. They're manipulating the handlebars and the foot pegs. They're powering it themselves.
We have one child, Kathy. I think you might have seen her. And here she comes right behind here. There's Kathy. Good job, Kathy. Kathy doesn't quite put her feet on it and do it back and forth like this just yet. But a really big breakthrough was actually having her get on the scooter. And this riding is phenomenal because she's pretty tentative about things. And I think she feels real successful with this. It's been about 2 weeks that she's been riding these with the other kids. Usually we'd have to get a different activity for her. And this is a big breakthrough.
Yeah, they don't know they're getting a workout. But the beauty of them is just there's not that many opportunities for most of these kids to have a riding toy that they can use in their community or here at school even. And we have kids at every level of learning how to use these. We have some that just get on and they know. They've never been on a riding toy before, but they get on the power pumper and they know how to go. And it's amazing to watch that.
They can't fall off it, so it's something that it's good for their self-esteem that they're riding a bike. A lot of these kids can't ride a 2-wheel bike. My children can't, and this is something where they can do, and they feel encouraged and that they're doing a good job.
So you'll notice the last little guy that was riding it with no direction at all. Partway through, he went from rowing like this to switching and rowing like this, and without him knowing it, he actually ended up working a totally different set of muscles. So people started talking about it. We started going to events like this, and as many of you have ridden it, we had a lot of different NAEYC, Shape America, and we had different people riding it. We've gone to special events. I love this little gal here. She could only go about 3 inches at a time in it, and she had never been able to. She has Down syndrome, and she had never been able to ride any other vehicle, and she's got her little princess crown on. And she was like able to go this far every time, but for her, it was like she went around the track, and she just had a great time. So we started seeing this 3-way relationship with adapted physical education, occupational and physical therapy, and home use. And it was one particular product that we would see it used in each one of those environments. And in a few instances, we actually had situations where either they would coordinate and take one home so they would have it, or they would actually buy one for their home use, and it would build upon what they were learning in their occupational therapy and physical therapy. So this next segment is a little guy, Owen, and he was going to therapy for speech.
I think it gives him confidence and it allows him to complete his therapy session successfully.
Scoot, 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 scoot. It's been a really big help for Owen because first and foremost, it has become a source of confidence for him. When he first came in to see me, he was not willing to attempt anything novel, basically. I'd ask him to try something, no, I can't do it. You know, anything and everything. He was emotionally unstable.
And he doesn't have a lot of control over therapy sessions. You know, he's usually being told what to do and he has to do it. And this gives him the ability to grab that confidence and skill right away. And then that seems to carry through the entire session for him.
We found that we had about a 20-minute window right after the power pumper where he was just incredibly regulated, incredibly focused, ready to just sit down and work with me. He stutters and he has problems with fluency. And so we found that when doing this kind of rhythmic gross motor activity, it increased his fluency, decreased his stuttering, and he was able to kind of work on some of the language issues that he's been working on with more ease.
Oh yeah, I would really recommend it, especially for kids that have sensory problems, like Owen does, sensory integration issues. He needs that physical outlet to be able to complete his therapy. Good.
So that's Owen.